Marhaba Habibis.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
To catch the full episode, subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/Habibi Bros.
In the links below.
Steve's mom.
Proud to announce that tomorrow, 58 days into our administration, we will have met my goal of administering 100 million shots to our fellow Americans.
What studies do you have that people that have had the vaccine or have had the infection are spreading the infection? If we're not spreading the infection, isn't it just theater? Allah Akbar!
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What's going on, Habibis? I'm Siraj Hashmi.
And I'm Mujahed Kobbe.
And welcome to another Habibi Power Hour. We're the Habibi Bros. Welcome. I mean, Jay, it's my first full day of freedom. Can you fucking believe it?
Yeah, it is. How does that feel?
I'm fucking stoked right now.
I mean, honestly, how does it feel to be able to watch hentai now unmonitored? And as much as you want.
Dude, I feel I cannot tell you. I no longer have to scrub my work computers. Let's just be
Hopefully you did before you left.
You're
gonna find out some really. It's gonna be the hentai folder next to 9/11 number 2 folder.
Oh God! And so Habibis, I mean, we're gonna get right into it because we brought a very special guest with us today. None other than our actually very first Habibti, Bridget Phetasy. What's going on, Bridget?
How's it going, Habibti?
Are we allowed to say your Hafreebie?
Hafreebie. That's what I am right now. I'm a Hafreebie.
You're a Hafreebie. I'm really excited for you.
Yeah, no, I'm stoked right now. I cannot tell you how liberating it feels. The fact that, going independent, and we literally right before you joined us, Jay was just telling everyone how now I can watch hentai unencumbered.
I just love that you're able to do stuff like this now. I think it's actually so good for everyone.
Yeah,
you don't have to censor yourself.
I know, I could say literally whatever I want and get canceled. I mean, I've been canceled already, but I can get canceled again.
What have you been canceled for?
I got canceled by Fox. Remember when I got outed? I got outed as a lib.
We always do.
So Bridget, for those who are not familiar, Bridget Phetasy is the host of Dumpster Fire, which you could catch on YouTube. She has also another show called Walk-Ins Welcome. You can also follow her on Twitter at Bridget Phetasy. Bridget, is there any other plug that I missed?
I have a monthly column at Spectator.
Let's go.
Yep. And then just my community, Phetasy.com, where it's a nice gated online community. And I love it.
It's gated?
Yeah, there's a small barrier for entry. It's just a subscription community, much like Patreon. And I work out with the ladies every day at noon. We do Zoom workouts. And yeah, it's super fun. I mean, it became way more in the pandemic. So I started it just to put the unedited version of Dumpster Fire up because it's unhinged. I mean, Dumpster Fire that we show is unhinged, but Dumpster Fire that we shoot is completely unhinged. So we do a mostly unedited version for our subscribers. And then it turned into the pandemic hit. And then it turned into just a place where we could share, obviously, sourdough recipes. And
right.
What was that all about? Can we have a conversation about this?
What, sourdough recipes?
The bread thing. What is that? Some like primal something just went off? Is it just more time? What is your guys' theory on this, the bread thing?
I think it's.
Are we talking about like?
Time.
Like,
no, hold on, Jay. What? Which bread thing? AOC and bread?
Everybody was making bread in the pandemic.
Oh.
Everybody.
Everybody had a sour.
I got into it even.
That's really interesting you say that, because I did not get into making bread at all.
What did you get into in the pandemic?
I got into podcasting, like pretty much everybody else. I mean, we started Habibi Bros because of the pandemic.
Okay.
Right.
And how's it going?
I mean, we're still doing it.
Yeah.
we haven't gotten thrown off yet. And
yeah,
I mean, especially because of some of the stuff that Siraj has to say.
Neither of us,
they can get dicey.
Neither of us have gotten nabbed by DHS or the FBI, so we're doing okay.
You guys have a Patreon, right?
We do. We do.
Yes, we do.
In fact, this is going to be one of our premium episodes. So,
Ooh.
yeah. So, for the Habibis who are not familiar with you, Bridget, before we get into some of the topics that we want to talk about on today's show, what is like your elevator pitch? What do you tell people who have no idea what you're about and why you do what you do?
I'm a comedian and a writer, and I got caught in the crossfire of the culture wars. That's really the short version of what happened. And the longer version is the version I'm writing in book form. called The Accidental Pundit. For now, tentatively. And because people are always asking me that same question, and I was just talking to Michael Malice about this. I'm always hearing like, who is this girl? Why does she have such a big following? What does she do? And one of the problems is that my work at Playboy was kind of scrubbed or disappeared or whatever you want to call it. And I worked there for years.
You mean your writings at Playboy,
my
right?
Writings at Playboy.
Jay was getting really excited there.
I should be
I know.
specific.
I mean,
about
you
that.
have a really nice Instagram.
Thank you. I wrote a sex column, a weekly sex column called Just the Tips. And
oh my God.
It's perfect, Dave.
It's perfect. And then I did, then they turned me into the Playboy Advisor in the magazine, which was like a dream come true job. I grew up reading that. I did read it for the articles, but it was just this iconic role that not that many people have had. And then I started getting a little bit more vocal on Twitter about just some of the stuff on the left that I thought was insane, as well as the stuff, on the right during the kind of ascent of Trump, I would say 2015. And then suddenly they didn't need me at Playboy anymore.
Wow.
And then they switched servers and all my work went bye-bye. So it's funny to me when people will put, when I come on their shows or something, they'll be like, podcaster. And I'm like, I'm a writer, damn it.
Did they not archive any of your
I
stuff?
have like 4, and they're the 4 that I've mentioned on Rogan. And I think that's the only reason they're there, is just it gets them traffic.
Did they even say that the reason why they parted ways because of your being vocal on Twitter,
No,
or was it like implied?
They can't say that either. It's just this is what I always say about the weird culture that we live in, and when you're in freelance and doing what I'm doing, particularly trying to be a writer in Hollywood, you're not necessarily going to lose a job. And I mean, I guess you could, like Gina Carano, but
Right.
you will have, I don't know what doors are closed that will never be open to me. I don't know what opportunities don't exist because somebody in a room follows me on Twitter and thinks that I'm, maybe somebody that I'm not, or associates with people that they feel are not, undesirables or whatever. So
How many Nazis do you know personally?
Answer the question, Bridget.
Any, as far as I know, but many who have been labeled Nazis.
Yeah.
Right.
They're mostly Jewish. The people I know who have been labeled Nazis.
That's always the funny
Ironically.
part. That's always the funny part.
Yeah.
So you've been on the Rogan quite a bit, and do you catch a lot of flack for going on the show? Really?
No. I mean, surprisingly, no. I feel that I have a magic spell that has been cast around me where I just get to float. Even when I was at Playboy, some of the stuff that I was writing, I'm like, can't believe no one tried to cancel me for this, but okay. So I feel that I've never been, I always am very clear about the fact that I've never been canceled, or maybe I just was completely canceled and it's like they depersoned me and I don't exist. I'm like dead to them completely.
Yeah. Well, it is kind of a nice shield to have when you're kind of, off in your own space and you don't have to worry. I mean, like your fan base they are basically your employers because they're paying you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting how that all works. So long as you don't alienate them and you're true to yourself, like you literally can just say whatever the fuck you want, right?
I also don't like drama. So there's a way that you can totally get yourself more subscribers on Patreon or to your media empire or whatever. And if you engage in lots of public drama with other people and make yourself kind of a victim and inflame that kind of drama. And I kind of just like to live in obscurity with the fan base that I have. I'm not powerful enough for anyone to care,
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm in that sweet spot. I'd like to be a little bit, I was saying just today on Dumpster Fire, I'm good. I'm like completely content with where I'm at. I'm doing everything that I love. I could not love what I'm doing more. I get to interview fascinating people, which is like my college education I didn't get. I get to have fun with guys like you and people and go on other podcasts. It's super fun and promote my friends and work with my friends and laugh with my friends. And all I wish I had enough money for was to hire my cousin Maggie, who does a lot of the co-producing on all my stuff, and Sammy Flaps and Folds, as she's known.
Oh, yeah.
Or also sadpersiangirl.com. Long story.
Persian girl.
Better than.
She's Persian. So I would like to be able to hire them full time, and then I could do this, make videos and increase my output even more. So that is really, I would say then I would be like, woohoo, I made it. But right now, if it was just me that I was worried about, I'd be like, I feel awesome. This is a sweet spot because no one cares. I don't have. I want to just stay like right under the radar.
Right.
That's great. That's great.
You keep your fans content and stuff, and you keep it right there. That's all you need.
It's perfect. They're so good too. The fan base is so. There's so many callbacks and Dumpster Fire and inside jokes. And so it's a little bit, I just binge watch Arrested Development obsessively. And that show is so genius. It's my go-to. If I'm feeling down, I'll just turn on, season 1 of Arrested Development. And
season 1's the best.
1, 2, and 3. I still have never seen any of the new ones, but I won't.
Don't.
I know I won't ruin it. The purity that I have for that show. I just love the callbacks and all the like weird cuts that they do and the weird and silliness of that show. And we try to incorporate a lot of that into Dumpster Fire so that people always write us and they're like, I binge watched all 50 episodes of Dumpster Fire over the weekend.
Amazing.
Like, are you okay? Like your brain must just be garbage right now.
Absolute mush.
Yeah, is your brain pudding?
At least for our subscribers and the Habibis, we at least arm them with a clock and a detonator for their brain.
Right. They go through the last of it, and it's like, are you ready to be a jihadi? Have you said the shahada? Inshallah. We can offer you 69 virgins, not the 72 yet.
Yeah, we got it. we lease out 69. We keep 3 for ourselves. So it's just
it's commission.
We got on Dumpster Fire last week. I said I was going to put a jihad on Sam or some joke that wasn't appropriate, and we got like a super woke comment that was like, "It's not good for." I think what you're referring to is a fatwa, and actually, and I was. I got actually.
Wow.
Actually, you don't mean a jihad.
I watched what was it called? It's with Larry David.
Oh,
Curb Your
Enthusiasm.
Curb Your Enthusiasm. I just been watched the whole thing. I've never watched it before until like last month.
That's the best.
That thing was genius.
I put on him or whatever.
Oh, right. And what was really genius about it too, it was like out in what 2002, 2005 or something, and a lot of the like racial issues, like critical, like woke issues and stuff like that were in those episodes, and I found it fascinating because I didn't live in the United States, so I didn't know how long some of those issues were being brought up. But I thought that the writing was just perfect. It was really good.
They're so ahead of their time on that show. They were calling it. Man. Although, you know who else was calling it? Bill Watterson from Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Just so ahead of his time.
Essentially,
100%.
Every time we say essentially, or I say essentially, Jay has to say 100%, and vice versa. We got to take a drink. You don't have.
We gotta
I know, Bridget. That you just drink your water.
I'll drink my green juice.
Habibis, to catch the full episode, watch us on Patreon by subscribing at patreon.com/Habibi Bros. Masalama.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.